Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a legendary mythological text to uncover the inciting incident of what is, honestly, an epic heist. We're pulling directly from the ancient Mahabharata, and we're going to explore a fascinating narrative about power, deception, and the absolute extreme lengths someone will go to just to break the chains of servitude.
So, what is the price of ultimate freedom? It's a heavy question, right? But it sits at the very heart of our source material today. To understand exactly how we arrive at this totally impossible ransom, we first have to start our journey at a highly deceptive paradise. Let's look at the text and see how this all builds up. Our source text from the Astika opens with this really breathtaking description: a beautiful forest washed by the waters of the sea. Now the text notes, this island was placed here by the creator of the universe itself, which, immediately signals to us that we aren't just looking at some random spot on a map. No way. This is a place of immense cosmic significance. It's quite literally a divine design.
Section 1. A deceptive paradise.
Let's explore what made this location so incredibly captivating for the snakes, the sons of Kadru, who were actually carried there by the great bird Garuda. The environment presents this really stark contrast. The island sits ominously near the Lavana Samudra, which is an ocean of salt, and it's the designated home of these fearsome sea creatures called makaras. Yet, despite being surrounded by this terrifying monster-filled expanse, the island itself, it's an absolute haven. I mean, pure water lakes, beautiful lotus tanks, it's a literal oasis of life, sitting right smack in the middle of a harsh wilderness.
The source details here are incredibly vivid. We've got fair mansions all around, pure incense-breathing breezes, and these majestic trees from the Malaya Hills that reach all the way to the heavens. It even specifically mentions bees literally maddened with the honey they're sucking. It's described as a charming retreat for the Gandharvas, the celestial musicians. It's essentially the ultimate all-inclusive luxury resort, perfectly designed to delight the senses. It's just completely intoxicating.
But here's the kicker. Despite this absolute perfection, the snakes are completely entitled. They look at Garuda, this magnificent lord of birds, and they basically treat him like a personal ride-sharing service. They just command him, convey us to some other fair island with pure water. They just assume that because he ranges the skies, well, he must be their personal chauffeur to the next vacation spot, right? They are just never satisfied.
Moving into Section 2. The Mother's Dark Secret.
This arrogant command drastically shifts our story. We go from a scenic nature tour straight into a really tense family drama. Garuda doesn't just blindly fly off. He pauses, he reflects, and he finally asks his mother, Vinata, the vital question that exposes the dark reality hidden beneath this paradise. He asks, "Why, mother, have I to do the bidding of the snakes?" He is finally questioning this unnatural hierarchy that places a magnificent bird of prey in servitude to serpents. And Vinata reveals a pretty tragic reality to her son. She admits that she's become the slave of her co-wife. She explains that the snakes used deliberate deception to make her lose a bet. It wasn't a fair loss at all. The game was totally rigged. And because of that trickery, she and her incredibly powerful son have been forced into the state of continuous, humiliating bondage.
So what we're seeing here is a stark contrast between our two factions. On one side, you have Garuda and Vinata. These are figures of immense energy and virtue, trapped solely because they're bound by honor and the tragic consequences of a rigged bet. Then, on the exact opposite side, you have the sons of Kadru. They are entitled, demanding, and perfectly willing to use underhanded manipulation to maintain their unearned control. It's a classic clash, really. Honor versus deception.
Which brings us to Section 3. The Price of Freedom.
Dejected with grief by his mother's painful confession, Garuda decides he absolutely has to confront his captors. So he approaches the snakes directly to negotiate their release. But notice, he doesn't beg, and he doesn't just fight them blindly either. Instead, he systematically asks them what it will actually take to break the chains.
Garuda offers 3 incredibly broad and daring conditions. He literally asks them, by bringing what thing, gaining a knowledge of what thing, or doing what act of prowess, we may be freed. I mean, he's basically handing his captors a blank check here. He is telling them he's willing to retrieve anything, learn anything, or fight anything, just to buy their freedom.
The snakes hear this open-ended challenge,
and they respond with a singular, pretty terrifying demand. And this really sets the stage for everything that follows in the epic. They say, "Bring thou Amrita by force. Then, O bird, shall you be freed from bondage."
Now, Amrita isn't just some rare object. It is the literal nectar of immortality. It is the ultimate, impossible prize that instantly transforms our story from a tragic tale of slavery into an epic, high-stakes heist. The snakes aren't asking him to fetch water from a well. They are asking him to steal the most coveted, heavily guarded substance in the entire cosmos. And crucially, they explicitly tell him he must take it by force.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this thought. Can a deceptive paradise ever be worth the chains of servitude? Think about it. The snakes had absolutely everything on that island, yet they still demanded more. Garuda had immense, godlike power, yet he was completely bound by a lie. So what happens when the quest for freedom requires stealing the most heavily guarded prize in the universe? Will Garuda even survive paying the ultimate price? Thank you so much for diving into this incredible text with me today. Keep seeking out the deeper structures in these stories, and of course, keep learning.